We are back over at Springhouse Gardens today here on Everyday Kentucky talking about spring native plants with Richard Weber.
Well, I wanted you to feel right at home because I know how much of an avid hiker you are.
You love my time in the woods.
And I grew up loving all the spring wildflowers and things, especially native to our state of Kentucky. One of my all-time favorites and one of the very few wildflowers that we found on this property when we bought it 30 years ago were Virginia bluebells.
Aww.
And Virginia bluebells, when you see those flowers and they're like shades of pink and blue and purple, all on the same cluster of flowers, there's something really, really special. I think they could have named these Kentucky bluebells though.
Yeah.
But at the time that they were named, you know, Kentucky and Virginia were probably the same, same territory. But so Virginia bluebells are one of these amazing harbingers of spring. It's one of the first wildflowers to come out, and these are one of those true ephemeral things that you see them in the spring and then 6 weeks later they're completely gone.
Yep.
So these will come up out of what looks like nothing and they'll bloom. We always let them go to seed. We're still digging and selling plants that came up in the same spot from 30 years ago.
What?
So we dig these up like at this time of the year. A lot of times they reestablish soon enough to make a good plant.
Wow.
Most times though, we carry them until the next year. So a lot of the ones that we have are coming back from last year. So it's a plant that you don't often see in garden centers and typical nurseries because it's a tricky one to grow, but our roots that we dig are from right here on the property, which is really cool. So we have Virginia bluebells. Another one of my favorites are the columbine. A typical columbine, let's see, I wanted to bring this one, this is called Aquilegia canadensis, which means it's an American columbine.
Okay.
But this guy has those pretty orange and yellow flowers. These are some of the first food to feed hummingbirds. So the hummingbirds are starting to come back when these are still blooming. But this one can get about this tall. And when you see it growing around Raven Run and things, it likes to grow in rocks, part sun, part shade. But somebody found a little dwarf one, and this one is called Little Lanterns. So if you wanted to try a little dwarf American columbine, look for little lanterns. But we have so many cool natives.
I love that.
Come out, walk through our native plant section, and it's not just native wildflowers. We have native trees, shrubs, other native perennials, things that bloom more in the sun. And then we're right now in the kind of part sun, part shade, but it's a fun time to be out because a lot of things are still not waking up, but our spring wildflowers are. So come out and see us here at Springhouse Gardens. We're down the road from Lexington, about 4 miles from Manowar Boulevard. You'll turn right onto West Catnip Hill Road and you can't miss us. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook